Yeah, but I mean, fortunately, I mean, there's a world of illustration, and ideally, it would be nice to get like a patron or something, and then I can just paint what I think would be great paintings that have potential to sell limited edition prints. I mean, like I talked about the Pre-Raphaelites, they're coming back in. Alma Tadema, who did Pompeii.
Yeah. Now explain what a patron is. What's that?
A patron, well, like Waterhouse, his patron was like the Tate Gallery. The Tate Gallery bought like several of his paintings.
I see.
And the RA, which was the Royal Academy, bought his paintings. Or he had a family. The later, say the last third of his life, one family bought all his paintings. So, I mean, he could literally just paint what he wanted to, and he knew that they would buy it.
Right.
But I mean, it was a wise investment because a Waterhouse today, Well, I mean, he painted about 115 years ago. But I mean, yeah, I mean, would it be a good investment? I think so. I think I have been making a name for myself, more, and growing and all that, and I've stayed busy.
Oh yeah.
Too busy, actually, the last couple of years. So I've been, I turn this stuff down. I'm more selective now. So yeah, I've been making a name, and I would like to do, like any artist. Any artist wants to paint what they want to paint. They want to do their own thing.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I know I've heard horror stories because I work with Artists Unlimited in Boise. They hired me last year to do several paintings for banks. I did maybe about 4 or 5 paintings for banks.
Did that pan out?
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, did anyone buy your paintings?
Well, just yesterday, Bill Adams, who was the official photographer of the Meridian Speedway, I did a painting for the Meridian Speedway, is going to take the print down there and see about, and the Speedway wants to buy some prints, but maybe they'll sell postcards. Did it pan out? Yeah, I mean, the company paid me to do a painting of the Meridian Speedway for a Meridian Bank, which is in the Meridian Bank. The original is there, but then I have the printing rights.
Right.
Yeah, if I ever got a patron, I think we would split printing rights, but I think that they would have the original and then split printing rights. It would be a win-win situation.
Well, yeah.
So, and I think if anybody, was interested, I'd go for that. I'm like like I said before, I'm like a hamster on a spinning wheel. I mean, last year I probably did 100 projects. It's too many. That's too many.
You guys are narrowing it down, picking and concentrating on something.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's hard because one part of it will be dry for a little bit, and the other part will be like your
I experiment.
T-shirt business takes off, and then
sometimes when I'm busy, I will, I'll raise my prices, and sometimes they'll take it, and sometimes they won't.
Yeah.
It's like I remember Colonel Henderson said it's like a steak dinner. How much is somebody going to pay for a steak dinner in Mountain Home, Idaho? $20, $25 maybe.
Well, it's pushing it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I know everybody that's not an artist thinks, well, just charge $100 for your steak dinner. You're not going to sell very many.
Yeah.
You might sell a $25 steak dinner. Depends on where you are. If you're in Manhattan, maybe you could sell a $100 steak.
Yeah. Yeah, the location is kind of key too.
But what's neat about Mountain Home and what I love is the cost of living. I can afford to live here. I probably could not afford to live in New York or Cincinnati. Or not Cincinnati, but I'm thinking a lot of artists live in what is it? Connecticut.
Oh.
I know Michael Whalen lives there. I'm a big fan of Michael Whalen.
Yeah.
Too. I'm an art fan.
Yeah.
I am a crazy art fan. I mean, if somebody that was, in fact, when I met Lars for the first time, I'm like, Lars Justinen? Yeah, I seen your painting of What Happened to Your Hand. Oh yeah, I know your name. How you doing? Oh yeah, I am like a total art fan. Yeah, I mean, I study this stuff every day, and I love it. And yeah, if I met I'm a good friends with Francis Livingston, who's a well-known national artist. We worked on some projects together years ago. And I took over his BSU class, actually. I taught advanced illustration at BSU for a semester.
Oh.
And I was taking over for Francis and his wife, Sue Rother, who are both really well-known artists. They're in the Society of Illustrators. They're actually on the committee, at least Francis is. And then we worked on some projects, and he's a good friend. We used to talk on the phone quite a bit. But he actually does, like, Kentucky Derby paintings and big stuff. I mean, he makes he probably pays in taxes what I make a year. So
Yeah, I've known some illustrators that make just for a painting, like this size right here, at 30,000.
He makes around 300,000 a year.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, I'm more on the lower end of that. Lower end.
It's hard to get to.
My best year illustrating was about 50,000.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. And on down from there. So
If there's a key to get to a next level,
half of that's overhead.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
Hard. It's hard.
People don't realize that.
They have no idea. I know it. I mean, and that's what's good about the video too. I mean, there's a lot of work. Like even still screening, it's just a lot of work, And the idea that I sit in a room and push a button is ludicrous, But
And also, when you're doing your paintings, it doesn't take a day to do it. It takes. I mean, it depends on. It takes time to do. And a lot of people.
It's hard work, And
mentally and. Well, more mentally.
But that's what I like about it, though. I like the challenge of it,
Yeah.
So and then that's what I want to be doing the rest of my life, and painting and drawing and learning, learning about great painting. I guess that's what frustrates me about when museums turn their back on traditional art, was that traditional art is just gorgeous. You could just what they did was amazing.
Oh, they had their little. Strategies.
I've worked with a lot of great artists, but I wish I could have worked with a great old master. Wouldn't that have been amazing?
There's masters out there.
Yeah, there are probably, but that do figurative painting. Actually, Lars Justinen, who I worked with for 10 years, he's probably about as good as a face painter as I've seen. Good at painting faces.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of illustrators, Michael Whelan.
Michael Whelan's.
Yeah.
Thomas Blackshears. Actually, I got to meet Michael Whelan.
Yeah.
The most exciting thing that ever happened to me, well, besides having my kids, my wife and all that, was I won a Disney internship, which was a big deal because it was the first one they were doing. They went to 80 art schools. They only picked a few. They picked 12 students. That wasn't the most exciting thing. The most exciting thing was that same week, because Michael Whelan was coming to the Radisson Hotel, and he's the reason I went to art school. Michael Whelan. He's a science fiction fantasy artist, and so it was finals, right? It was like my third year at college or something. It was my third year, and I couldn't get any of the other artists to go with me, and my car was broken down. Of course, I'm a starving artist. And so I finally get to the Radisson Hotel. A friend of mine drives me there. Have no money. But that doesn't matter. The whole point for me getting there was to meet Michael Whelan, And so I met him the first day. And then I had some of my artwork there on exhibition, and he liked it. And I got to talk, we talked for a long time. I got to see him, he's just sitting in the waiting room, and I was just, oh, Michael Whelan. And another artist there, too. We're like your biggest fans, And then... we had a really good conversation about art and all that, and I had some nice paintings there, some nice illustrations there, and he liked them. And then, but I didn't have anywhere to sleep that night. I had no money. I had no way to get home. I was maybe I was about 10 miles from home, and so that night I got underneath. I went to a cafeteria, and they had these tables with these tablecloths. So I slept underneath there. That night, I was freezing. I was 50 degrees in there.
You should grab the tablecloth and use it as a blanket.
I thought about it, but I woke up when they were in there chinking all the dishes and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hours.
Half awake, hair mess. I wasn't doing anything.
Oh yeah, but that next day I got to talk to Michael Whelan a whole bunch, and then actually I had to get back because I had finals, and so I got back. A friend of mine picked me up, and then I come back Sunday night, right? And Michael Whelan goes, "Where were you? We wanted to have lunch with you." And if you know Michael Whelan, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
A neat guy, right?
Great guy. I mean, the people at the top who I've met are the nicest.